All right, guys, good afternoon. Looks like I'm going to do an update on my flatbed car hauler. I haven't gotten a whole lot done because I got the 57 Chevy wagon here that I've been working on. Once I can get this thing out of here, then I'll start working on the cab and modifying the truck. I'm putting a power steering kit in this thing with the box and everything. So this thing's really close to getting out of here. It doesn't need to be perfect. So I got floors and stuff in it, and then it'll be gone. But here's the wrecker. Here's my donor truck. I'm going to use modify the cab on this one. But I got the front end off of it, and it's a really nice body on this thing. So I really would rather like to sell the body if I could. It's a 400 cubic inch engine. I think it's really low miles, as it ran really super good, and it's a 4-speed manual transmission. All the front end pieces here are well taken care of. This thing's really nice. I think the bed was a 16-foot. But what I did was I was thinking that the doors on these things, see, this truck here has really good leg room. See, the doors are pretty big. So these doors are pretty long. It looks like the opening area is about the same as the Ford for some reason, or the other Ford. But I got such good leg position when I'm sitting in it on this one. But when I get in this thing, man, I am crunched in there. The cab is just too small on these old trucks and for any distance. So I think what I might do is I bought another cab, super cheap. This one here. Now this one's a 66. The other one was a 65. This one was nice. It came with the title, and I like the patina on it. This one had a 390 with a 4-speed in it. The other one's a 352 with an automatic. And there's the engine right there. Some extra goodies. And exactly the same on the inside. They're both custom cabs. Pretty good shape. The other one has less rust but more dents. This one's a little more rust with less dents, so I can mix the two. I hate to cut up two trucks and make one good one, but you know, what can you do? If I didn't, it would just sit out in a field somewhere and rot. So, but what I'm thinking was I'll cut these doors at this moment. I could change my mind, cut the doors and lengthen the doors about 6 inches to a more modern length. And if that's not enough, then I'll lengthen the cab a little bit in here as well. It'll be a lot of work, but in the end, it would be worth it. And this one was equipped with air conditioning, which is really cool. Neat option. This one's got a Dana 44 diff. The other one's got a 9-inch. I like the diff, so I'll keep those if I can. They both have good windshields in them. But you can buy all the glass and everything for these things. You can buy everything. It's really cool. Not when I'm dealing with Chrysler stuff, you can't buy anything. One other thing that made it meant to be was this engine, somebody had pulled a distributor out of it. And so there wasn't one with it, and it's kind of odd. But it does turn over by hand. I haven't really tried messing with it yet. It is a 4-barrel, which is pretty neat. But the other truck came with an extra distributor, which is wild. And the 390 and 352 are the same design. So the extra distributor will fit right in this one, which tells me, hey, it was meant to be. So what can you do, you know? And yeah, once I get that thing out of here, then I can get this thing, really get it started. The cab is loose and ready to come off of it. It really wasn't too hard to do, not very many bolts. Wanted to keep most of it together in case anybody needed a good 400. Now, 400M is basically a tall deck 351 Cleveland with a stroker crank in it, which makes it 400 cubic inches. And then it also has a big block bell housing on it. Those are the differences, is the deck height and the bell housing. And that's about it. But everything else, heads and cam and all that stuff, will fit a Cleveland. It's still the same. It's basically like a stroker Cleveland with a big block bell housing, pretty much. So, I mean, they got potential. And I had finally decided later on, I was just going to modify this 400 at first, maybe put a turbo on it, give it a little extra boost for pullings. I'd like to pull 2 cars if I could. But then, you know, more with thinking, you know, any gas engine you're pulling with, it doesn't matter how modern it is. I've seen guys with brand new, you know, Hemi V8 pickup trucks and big haulers and stuff. Gas engines are only get about 7 miles per gallon when they're under load. Doesn't matter how new or old it is. That's all they're going to do. And diesels are known for getting better mileage. They're a more efficient engine than a gas engine, and they're stronger. And so my thought is either I'll go with a Cummins 12 valve because they're super simple, 1 wire, and they run on their own, and they're known for being tough. They're industrial engines, although they're very hard to find at a reasonable price even. The other one is the 7.3 Power Stroke. Looks like late 90s is the best one because they have an intercooler on them, but they need computers to run it. It uses a Huey system, which uses oil pressure to fire the injectors and the computer. The Cummins, I understand, is a common rail, and it's a much simpler design and easier to deal with. The later ones have the P pump everybody talks about. They have a little more pressure than the earlier pumps, so you can get more power out of them, but the early pumps are just fine as well. So it'd be easy to kind of boost it up a little bit. Another 100 horse out of a diesel is not too hard to do, and it would probably still get 20 miles per gallon pulling a load. So if I could find a Cummins, preferably with a 5-speed, you got to have overdrive with a diesel, or low gears, numerically lower gears, because they don't like to rev much. The limit on those is about 2,700 RPMs, unless you modify it. But yeah, diesel with a transmission. A donor truck would be the best. So if anybody comes across one, just let me know. I'm in the Central Coast, California area, but yeah, something reasonable. It's already kind of getting up there. The truck was around $2,000. Each of these were, this one was $2,000, that one was around $1,000. So, you know, it can start creeping up there pretty soon. Plus all the work I got to do with the cab. I wish I didn't have to, but in the end, it's going to be really cool with a vintage cab all modified. I don't want to do just a 4-door because they made 4-door cabs. So it's got to have my little twist on it. And I think that's about all. I don't think there was anything else I had to talk about on this thing, but I just got to get that Chevy wagon out of here. Oh yeah, and today hopefully I'm picking up a forklift I found at a junkyard. And it's a smaller one. It's an outdoor forklift with 30-inch tires on it, and about 5,000-6,000 pound lift, I think, on it, capacity. So it should be fine, good enough to run back here in the dirt. And although here in California it's not really dirt, it's sand. The minute you break it loose, you start sinking. So I'll probably do a dually conversion on the front of it, add dually wheels to it, but it'd be plenty for pulling the engine out of this and the cab and stuff and working back here, because I can't roll dollies back here or anything like that. That'd help a lot. $500 I'll get this thing for. And I spun it over. It's got good compression. It was an LP gas unit. I'll make a video on that. Hopefully today I can go get it. I'm just waiting on them to free up their forklift so they can pick it up and put it on my trailer. From what I found, even though this thing is tiny, it weighs almost 10,000 pounds. Tiny little forklift. So my trailer is going to be squealing a little bit. I think it's rated at 7. But I've done it before with heavier ones, and it stresses it, but it's just down the street. So I guess that's it for now. So that was just a quick one, just give you guys a heads up on what's going on with the tow truck. And guess that'll be it. So I appreciate you all, whoever's watching this. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and ring the bell and do the notifications and all that good stuff. And I'll see you. I'll do another video. Hopefully I'll have more done on this thing, or at least have the other trucks ripped apart and do some cab work on these things. All right, so I'll see you next time.